Jamie Carragher has rejoined us. We'll revisit Liverpool in a couple of minutes. But on Everton, David, is that how they should play, what we saw today?
Yeah, I think if you play that way, you get... I think the crowd have been sitting in their hands here for weeks, you know, waiting for something like that today. Now, maybe it needed this type of game. Maybe, obviously, you know, the taking points off Liverpool did mean an awful lot to them. But I actually think the performance they put in was good. They were energetic. We could have played better football at times. We could have maybe done a little bit better. But I think overall, playing against a really good team, they've done a good job today.
Well, tell us, what did they do today that you like, that they should do moving forward?
Well, I thought they tried to press Liverpool early on in the game. I thought they showed a big intensity, which I don't think they've shown in their game. I thought they didn't take many risks at the back today, especially in the first half. And I thought they decided to say, well, we're going to try and make it a little bit more ugly, which actually the stats would go to prove the way the first half went. So I thought Everton got their tactics right today in a way to get a result against Liverpool.
Do you think that's maybe the DNA that Marco Silva needs to use moving forward? And do you think he might have actually learnt a little bit from this, Jamie, as well?
I think so. I think it feels to me that was the first time the crowd come alive under Marco Silva. He's yet to have that big standout result against one of the top sides. At times they've done OK against them in games, but never got the result or certainly a win yet. I think David knows, obviously, probably even better than me being the manager here for so long, but Everton like aggressive football, and I mean that in the nicest possible sense. You've got to come here as an opposition player and think, oh, don't want to play there, don't want to play at Goodison. And it's been too nice and too easy, I think, at times this season. Today, that felt like Everton and Goodison Park, and it should always be a tough game for anyone who comes. And when I say aggressive football, that means with the ball as well. I'm not talking just off the ball and putting challenges in. I'm talking with the ball. There's nothing wrong with putting it in. The famous player for Everton's a big number 9. You go back, 100 years. Now, I'm not saying Everton should just lump it forward, but it's got to be a case of, now, put it in the box. Get that crowd, get on a second, but it's a really tight pitch. Goodison. So every time someone gets the ball, they've got to feel contact when the opposition have got it. And that's what you saw today, and you just haven't saw enough of that this season.
The big thing for me, I think Jurgen Klopp's interview at the end was saying that this was tough. Today was tough. You know, we've actually got maybe a half-decent point out of this. And that was different from what maybe people have been saying about Everton for a while. So I think Liverpool come off the pitch today saying, look, this was a tough game. We couldn't get in today.
You agree, Graeme?
It's not new. Coming here has never been easy. You know,
what has it been in the last couple of years? I guess that's the suggestion.
Well, I can talk from when we were the top team. Coming here, playing Everton, they would roll their sleeves up, they'd get in our face and want to take us on in a fight, and they would see what that would take them. That was exactly what happened today. They made it very difficult physically today for Liverpool, and they were saying, let's see if Liverpool are up for it and they fancy it and can stick with us. And to be fair to Everton, which I had doubts they could do it for 90 minutes, they managed it for 90 minutes. And ultimately, Liverpool never had enough craft to come up with the answer being a goal or two.
Jamie, have Liverpool got a problem?
Yes, in terms of the makeup of the midfield, but it's not just a problem now. I think that was even a problem if you go back to the end of last season when Liverpool were doing so well in the Champions League. There were certain games, and certainly in the final of the Champions League, you looked at the setup and you think they just lack one player. They lost Coutinho, obviously, last January, and they never replaced him. In the summer, they tried to replace him with someone from Lyon, but there wasn't sort of 3 or 4 different people. It was that one. They couldn't get him. So it's not just a case of right now. Even if Liverpool are winning these games in the summer, I still think if Liverpool win the league, it's still a position Liverpool will try and fill, because it's not even a case of one player going straight in there and being the best player, or there's not even something off the bench, really, who have that type of player. But when you're talking about that being a problem, the big thing that I don't think there should be massive panic about for Liverpool after today or this week of games, because Liverpool don't look like conceding a goal. That's back. That was there in the first half of the season. That's 5 clean sheets on the bounce. They've gone to Old Trafford, they've gone to Goodison Park. Yes, we can talk about the front three not playing well enough. Do they lack a little bit of craft? But they're not even conceding chances. That sort of solidity. Van Dijk's performance today was unbelievable. I actually think I think he should be PFA Player of the Year. Maybe it's too early for that. But
well, we were talking about it earlier. The last defender to win it was John Terry, I think, 2005.
Well, today, if he's not playing, I think Everton win the game. I do. Some things flashing across the goal, people running second half.
A lot of games this year. I mean, he's made such a difference to them. I mean, you talk about one player doesn't make a difference, but I think when they're that good, he is the exception.
He's playing against some of the top players in European football, in the Premier League. Everything's so easy. And you actually feel like he's not getting tested enough. You still feel like there's more things to go into, more gears to go into. So the thing for Liverpool, I do go back to that. We know about the midfield, and I do look at the changes from the bench. I don't think they were great last week at Old Trafford. The first substitution when Sturridge come on. I was looking at that, the substitutions there. I'm thinking, bring Firmino on, try and get someone behind Everton's midfield, and it stayed with the three in midfield. Even when Lallana came on...
What did you want to see then? So it was Firmino. What else did you want to see on 63 minutes?
If we bring in Firmino, put him as a number 10 and have two central midfield players. So instead of having three midfield players, Everton's midfield can look at all these front three, put one of them behind them. And even when Lallana come on, Lallana didn't come on as one of that midfield three, he come on as one of the front three. He always kept that midfield three. Now, maybe there is something... I haven't seen Klopp's interview.
He thought Everton were very much in the game at that time.
But that's what, maybe from Klopp's interview, he's actually thinking, this is not a bad point. Yes, Liverpool want to win, of course. But he maybe think, if I get the other side of this week, haven't lost, we've kept our clean sheet. And that is the big thing. If Liverpool are going to win this league, it's not by being creative and scoring more goals than Man City. It's by having Van Dijk and having the best defensive record in the Premier League. City
have been cranking it up, or their one or two former players have been cranking it up this week, David. I saw that Pablo Zabaleta, a West Ham player, of course, is talking about the fact that he thinks there's more pressure on Liverpool because of the emotion of their fans. And very interestingly, Raheem Sterling was making exactly the same point in an interview. I think it was Friday. He didn't say it once, he said it twice in that interview.
He was put up to say that.
Well, whether he was or he wasn't, his point of view was that he felt under more pressure playing at Liverpool when they were chasing the title than he does when he was playing at Manchester City, again because of the emotion of the fans.
Big clubs put you under pressure. If you want to play at big clubs or manage big clubs, you're going to be under pressure because you have to win. You have to be at the top. So I would have expected every Liverpool player, the minute they come through the door, to understand what this is. You come to win. I found it at Manchester United the minute I went in. There was a winning culture. You come here to win. We come to win trophies. And if you can't handle that, then you won't be there.
But they haven't been contesting titles, Graeme.
Yeah, and that's what we're finding out now, if they've got the mentality to deal with it. Right now, instead of being so far in front and really putting the foot down and saying, by beating West Ham, by beating Leicester at home, and saying, now you're going to really have a job to catch us. The door was ajar, especially when City lose to Newcastle. Now it's they're playing with a different mindset now. It's now them that can't slip up, and it's City that could possibly slip up by being in front. You come back to it. If you're a player at a big club used to winning stuff, you deal with games like this, you deal with seasons like this, you deal with whatever comes your way, and it's very easy to say, if you win the league, you've dealt with the down times, the losses and the criticism that comes your way when you don't win. You've dealt with that better than anybody else. That's why you win the league.
Is it pressure? Is it weight of expectation that makes Salah have a heavy touch in front of goal?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just a lack of quality that we've seen in the last few weeks. I certainly don't think it is that. I don't think you're getting that vibe from the manager. I think a couple of weeks ago people mentioned that with the Leicester game and the West Ham game. And there could be something in that because it did feel a bit all over the place where Leicester were creating chances, the West Ham hadn't chances in the game. You think Liverpool are lucky to come out of these games. That's what I'm saying. The big thing is Liverpool look solid and teams don't look like scoring. Now, if you get like that, I think that does breed confidence. What are you laughing at?
I'm not laughing at it.
You did that last week as well.
I thought I was going to get through 1 week without someone having a go at me. David, we've got time for one word. Liverpool or Manchester City?
I would say at the moment Manchester City in front, but I've got to say Liverpool would have taken this position at the start of the season and are right there. And Manchester City have shown that they can lose games. They're not invincible.
Leave me alone. Don't look at me like that.
No. City, De Bruyne injured. Stones went off yesterday. We don't know who he is.
Come on, quickly.
Fernandinho, we don't know who he is. 27 points to play for. I've got to believe that United will do us Liverpool a big favour in the derby match.
Listen, I think if you ask every single person who's the best team in the country, I think nearly 99% of people would say Man City. Liverpool's chance of winning this league is a fixture pile up towards the end of the season of Man City. If Liverpool can still stay 1 point behind with 4 or 5 games to go, they're right in there. There
are going to be twists and turns, aren't there, along the way. Thank you very much, David. Great to see you. Jamie, thank you very much. And Graeme, thank you as well. We got through it almost unscathed. Finished here in the World Cup final on Merseyside. 0-0. Liverpool.
They celebrated the World Cup final 0-0 like it was.
We've got to go. Bye from us.